My name is Jennifer, and the stress management technique that I chose is organization. To give a little background from a scientific standpoint, being organized has been proven to reduce cognitive load and mental fatigue. Our physical environment has a profound impact on our cognitive process, our emotional state, and even our neurological function. You know, when you know where everything is and you have systems for things, your brain doesn't have to expend extra energy on all the little details. Another benefit is productivity. You know, when you're organized, you're not wasting time trying to find things. This efficiency can be a game changer. You know, it allows you to accomplish more in less time with less stress. Another benefit is the feel-good factor, I guess. When you are organized, you feel more in control. You feel more productive. These are all things that, you know, organization can help you achieve. And to talk about the background a little from a personal side, my summers I spent with my grandparents, I watched them basically become hoarders from the time I was, probably 5 up until I was 16, seeing how it had kind of taken over their space, right? They had cleared a path to the laundry so that they could use the washer and dryer. When we cleaned out their house after they passed away, there was a car in the garage that you couldn't even see because it was so covered with stuff, right? And if you've ever watched like TV shows like Hoarders or things like that, you can maybe identify with the anxiety that you feel watching the way people are living. I can just attest from a personal perspective of like how difficult it was being in their house, how they had just adapted around the mess. The purpose of why I chose organization, for me personally, I suffer from depression and generalized anxiety disorder. So I'm already prone to feelings of stress and overwhelm. So for me, organization is an integral part of managing my mental health. So to dive into kind of what I do for my organization and how I find it helps me. I've been at my job now for a year. I work in an office, in UNM, and it's one of the main offices for the department. When I first started, they had all these office supplies and coffee supplies and all this stuff that was just in complete disarray. So something that was really simple for me was just going to the Dollar Tree and buying their $1 Tupperware looking boxes. I used a label maker, and I started organizing everything. So all the pens go in one box and it's labeled pens. That was something that I absolutely needed in order to sort of settle into my space and feel comfortable at work. It also goes beyond just organizing stuff, right? At work, you have tasks that you have to get done. I sort of add all my tasks to my to-do list in order of priority, right? So things that have time sensitivity that need to get done immediately, those go at the top of the list, right? Things that maybe won't be due for a couple months or are long-term projects or things that I want to work on can go towards the bottom. And I also keep like a clip on my monitor at work that I put my to-do list in, so that way it's always in front of me. And in my personal life, one thing that works really well for me is kind of the same technique I use at work, right? So I went to the Dollar Tree, got some baskets. In my bathroom, I have every basket's labeled. There's a basket labeled for cold medicine and allergy medicine. There's a makeup basket. So it makes it so much easier for me to find what I need. Another thing, utilizing my phone is super helpful for reminders. If you have an iPhone, you can literally just go, "Hey Siri, add a reminder in my phone for X appointment on X date and X time." Those things really, really help me. One kind of pop culture thing I want to mention around organization is Marie Kondo. If you've ever watched her Netflix series, she's essentially made her living off of organization and helping people get organized. Something that I really enjoy about it is how much joy it brings her to be organized and to help other people be organized. So rather than seeing organization as a negative thing of like, oh, it's like more I have to do, right? It can be something joyful, and it can be something that makes you feel really productive and really proud of yourself. So I do think, there's a lot to learn from that. So that'll be my one little plug for Marie Kondo, is to check out her Netflix series if you haven't, and take what you can use and leave the rest, right? Remember that this is a way for you to have control. The more you stay on top of things, the more in control of your life you feel. And I think that really does help a lot with the stress load, mental health load, for me, especially with my anxiety and depression. I guess the only thing I haven't touched on is if there are any negatives, right? If there's any sort of precautions or things to be advised of with this technique. I personally don't think there are many. The only thing I could say is maybe if you are someone who is prone to like obsessive compulsive disorder, you may want to be really careful about how much time you spend devoting to these tasks, right, of organization, because it might overwhelm you. Just be mindful if it's bringing you more stress to have to focus on staying organized, or it's feeling like something you're obsessing over. It might be worth, talking to a mental health provider or your doctor about ways in which you can sort of stay organized without it becoming like problematic. Thank you for listening, and hopefully you learned a little bit today